The stock market is moving like a roller coaster, but making highs on its way up. And it's about to trap everyone. From Big Bear AI, wild AI surge to Tesla's delivery numbers, and Hood hitting $100. We're diving into the chaos, Vietnam deals, job market cracks, and Oracle's AI play. Is this a bull run or a setup? Let's unpack everything that you guys need to know for the stock market today. Before we start, just want to say today's a half day. We're closing at 1 p.m. and tomorrow we're closed for the 4th of July. Hopefully, you guys have a great holiday. Comment down below your plan. With all that being said, man, we had some good AI news. We had NVIDIA come back and we're up 3%. Apple up 2.22%, still going up. Google up 2%. Oracle did insane, up 5%. And we have some other stocks that did pretty well. Some lackers, we had Meta, Netflix, Adobe, other ones like that. And Tesla up 5%, even though they didn't even beat expectations. Let's talk more about that. So we did have a Vietnam deal. Vietnam is the sixth largest trader to the US, so this can move markets a decent amount. And there's 0% tariffs if US wants to export anything. And there's 20% tariff for Vietnamese exports into America and a 40% tariff for transshipping. If you guys really don't know what that is, it is basically if another country tries to ship their product through Vietnam. So let's say if China wants to, get around the tariffs because they're at 25, I believe. Let's say like China or any other company wants to, export to the US, but they use Vietnam in the way, they will get a 40% tariff on that. So keep that in mind overall. But this is a great deal because honestly, how did we get a 0% tariff? Honestly. Next, let's talk about some data. So we had the ADP employment come out, negative 33,000. Expectation was 100,000. And today we have a lot of data, Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. We have the initial jobless claims. We got the U.S. employment report, U.S. unemployment rate, hourly wages year over year, U.S. deficit. We have the S&P final PMI, factory orders, ISM, and we have a speech. But we have a lot of data that can move the market, and most of it is an hour before market opens. So keep all this on your radar because this can determine a movement, especially if you guys have some options over the night. You might be cooked. With that being said, though, keep an eye on this data because it can move Fed rate cut odds. People are even saying that we can get a cut this month, if not in September. So that can be very, very bullish depending on how this numbers come out. And honestly, on the prediction market, it shows a decent cut. And the odds are going up higher for this month, and they're pretty high for September overall. But with the data that came out yesterday, we might be seeing a little crack in the job market. So keep that in mind as well, because the data today can show a bigger crack and force Jerome to cut as well. So honestly, we have a lot of bullish things come out, but data can really change the movement on the market overall. I mean, the market has been kind of shrugging off bad news, but honestly, man, I don't know how it's going to shrug off this news. We do have OpenAI and Oracle deal, like a Stargate. They just expanded their deal and it brought chip stocks overall up and Oracle up 5%, as we've seen with the heat map. So honestly, this is some crazy news. And look at Oracle to the upside. So we've seen some new highs for the S&P 500 and closes high once again. So honestly, man, we're just going to keep on going up. I'm looking at that 6240, 6250, and that 6300 finally next, if we can keep on breaking up and show good momentum to the upside. We also still have the dollars kind of coming back, but kind of not at the same time, still itching the lows. So keep that in mind overall, especially if you guys are trying to get some currencies or anything like that. Dollar's still not too strong yet, but maybe we can get a comeback soon. That's what we're looking like with news overall. Bond market isn't really looking too bad. We did have a big wick at that 11 o'clock mark. So keep that in mind because sometimes when bonds go up, stocks go down and or the opposite. But sometimes we can get that rare opportunity where bonds go up and stocks go up as well. We also have Apple, man. Apple making big moves. Honestly, just fat moves to the upside, looking pretty bullish. And I'm going to be announcing some plays for Apple, NVIDIA, and some other stocks if you guys are interested in option plays in general. So we also had Robinhood hit that $100 level, but we quickly fell off. Tomorrow, I am going to be watching that $100 level. And if we can break above that, we might get 102.5, 105, and that 110 level next. Robinhood has been pretty bullish and has been having a lot of great news overall, especially announcing that token. That was the most searched item on Google, literally. So a lot of people are pumped up for the token, but it's only available in Europe, unfortunately. So not too many people can get into it, but Robinhood has been killing it recently. Another one that benefited yesterday as well is Webull. If you guys don't know, Webull is basically another trading platform, and with crypto is doing good, and Robinhood is mainly pushing stocks like this higher. So keep Webull on your radar as well with Robinhood. Speaking of crypto, we have Bitcoin at that 109. So honestly, watch that 110, 111, 111.5, 112, 113.5, and 115 to the upside. If you do start going up. But honestly, you can also expect a pullback because sometimes when we get to these levels, we pull back just a little bit, not really majorly. But honestly, you can play a put option if you guys want. But honestly, I'm personally not. I'm just showing recommendations if you do start seeing this go in the opposite direction. Some stocks that you can watch with that would be MSTR. MSTR moves with Bitcoin. Another one would be Coinbase. It moves like the same direction as Bitcoin does, kind of moves with it. And then one of my personal favorites, I personally trade IBIT, but IBIT is an ETF that moves with Bitcoin, and you can make a lot of money off this one. Especially yesterday, we were all the way down to that $61 level, and we went up to 62. So basically $1.30 in the money. I mean, honestly, it's a that's a pretty decent move, especially if you get some decent options, especially in the money options, $164 with the delta of 56. So for one of these, a dollar move would make you $56. So that's still not too bad, especially if you buy, 5, 6 of them, you're making a decent amount of money. So a stock that a viewer came to me and asked me to check out is BBAI. That's Big Bear AI. Honestly, man, I didn't even have this one on my radar, but it has been in a bullish trend, and I might even load up on my long term with a little bit of patience, though. I might try to load up at that 650 to that 550 level if we can get a little bit of a pullback. But if not, man, this thing can go to the moon. With that being said, Big Bear Holdings, they provide AI powered decision intelligence solutions for national security, defense, supply chain management, and digital identity. This kind of reminds me of Palantir, man. People slept on it, and then you seen it at that $7 level, and a year later, the thing's at like $100. So this one can be the next Palantir, and or it can be the next dud. So don't really take my word for it. Do your own research and have your own price targets. But they are in U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, broader protection, transportation, and traveler sectors. So honestly, it is pretty well diverse, honestly. The company has recently secured contracts for biometric deployments at airports and participated in defense experiments like Project Convergence, Capstone 5. So some of the bullish indicators for this stock that I've noticed is stock did jump around 14% on July 2nd, 2025, closing at $7.56. And now we're trading at that $7.85, which is insane. With a 30.34% weekly and an 88.6 monthly gain, showing strong momentum to the upside. This could be your quick day trade, quick swing trade stock. I would have patience adding it to your long term for now because that pullback can be heavy. The stock did break above key levels of resistance with bullish MACD cross and moving average buy signals, suggesting a potential trend reversal. High trading volume reflects strong buying interest. And we did have some recent analyst upgrades. So including raised price target from $6 to $9, highlighted contract momentum and AI sector growth potential. They do have new contracts with U.S. Army, UAE, and airport security technology, like we said before, signals expansion in defense and security markets. Just like I said, reminds you of Palantir, right? They do have financial struggles. So Big Bear AI reported a Q1 2025 loss of negative 0.25 per share, missing estimates of 0.05, with revenue of 34.8 million below the expected 40.24 million. Net losses ballooned to 295.55 million in 2024, up 318% from 2023. The stock has high volatility and some other things as well, but literally I do recommend looking at that 580 to that 588 level before you guys get in for your long term, and you guys can look at little pullbacks and then get your little call option. With that being said, man, let's look at some plays, supports and resistance, and honestly just plays to make for today. So for NVIDIA, man, I'm really interested in looking at that 158 level. If you can break above that, look at 159 to that 160. If you can finally break above that 160, look at that 161.5, 165 and 170. But honestly, I really want to see if we can break above that 160 to show good momentum to the upside. But some call options, if you do have a little bit of a pullback, I'm personally going to be looking at that 154 to that 153.5 level to get into a call option. But have your patience with that, because sometimes I wait for it to fall. I wait a little bit longer, maybe 5-10 minutes. And then if it doesn't fall any longer, that's when I'll get it. But if it does fall, that's when you get like a cooked play, basically. But you don't want to get a cooked play. I personally buy my options 2 to 3 weeks out to have safety and security. And honestly, most of the time they hit. Next one to talk about is Apple. I mean, Apple was pretty bullish yesterday. Still some spots I'm looking at for a pullback is going to be that 210.5, 209, and that 207.5. I really want to get into a play at that 207.5. I'm not really going to be playing for the weekend, but just because for the holiday and everything like that. I'm going to be back into the game on Monday. I do have some call options on Apple as well. I think at that 209 level from yesterday, but I really just want to have my patience and honestly not really going to trade or buy any more option plays this week. Maybe add to my long term, but that's about it. I don't know yet. We will have an update video later on for the long term, but check out Apple, man. We might be able to break up. I'm watching that 215 level, past the 215, get to that 220. Apple has been lagging pretty decently, still at pretty low levels right now. We are making a breakout. So honestly, that 215, 225, and then 240 to that 250, and all the way up to the highs of 260 can be a potential uptrend for Apple. It's not really big moves, not really insane moves like we've seen with other stocks, but with that being said, I think that can really get us kicking off, making some decent money. Next one to watch is indeed Tesla. I did tell you guys yesterday to watch that 300 level. If we don't break below that, we're going to be looking a little bit more bullish. With that all being said, the numbers did fail to impress, but investors shrugged it off like always. Tesla always fails to impress, but investors are still hype. I mean, this stock is still very, very great. I mean, they're making robots, autonomous vehicles. Like autonomous vehicles is the next move right now, and robots. And Tesla already got their foot in the door making these items. So honestly, Tesla's not a bad stock. And honestly, I didn't see any beef between Elon Musk and President Trump yesterday. So maybe people shrugged that off as well. So honestly, keep the beef on your radar, because honestly, I didn't really see anything major yesterday pop off with that. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not as much as we seen, when we seen that big sell off. But with all that being said, man, that is your market outlook for today. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to be giving you guys some stock picks for tomorrow since the stock market is closed. And probably next time you'll see a daily video like this, like a actual stock market outlook video, it might be on Sunday. So keep that in mind. But we will be giving you guys some videos to help you guys out with your trading journey. So make sure you guys have those post notifications on. But enjoy your vacation. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great trading day. Peace out.